Have you ever noticed something strange about football debates? A player can score hundreds of goals, win countless trophies, produce magical moments for nearly 2 decades, and yet one narrative can somehow survive forever. For years, millions of football fans repeated the same claim. Messi disappears when it matters. Messi can't do it in big games. Messi chokes under pressure. But here's the question nobody seemed interested in asking. Was it ever true? Because when you start digging into the matches, the statistics, the tournaments, and the moments that actually shaped Lionel Messi's career, something fascinating happens. The myth begins to fall apart. And by the end of this video, you'll discover that the biggest surprise isn't that Messi played well in important matches. It's how long football fans ignored the evidence. Let's investigate football's most persistent myth, the claim that Lionel Messi failed in important matches. And let's find out whether it was true, partially true, misleading, or completely false. To understand why this myth became so popular, we need to go back more than a decade. Because myths don't appear from nowhere. They usually start with a grain of truth. And that's exactly what happened here. During the late 2000s and early 2010s, Messi was producing ridiculous numbers for Barcelona. Goals every week, assists every week, league titles, Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Or awards. The problem? The standards became impossible. Fans stopped comparing Messi to other footballers. They started comparing Messi to perfection. At the same time, one comparison dominated football discussions: Cristiano Ronaldo. Every major tournament became a direct comparison between the two. Every trophy mattered. Every missed chance became headline news. And then came a series of painful moments with Argentina. The 2014 World Cup final, the 2015 Copa América final, the 2016 Copa América final. Argentina kept coming close, but they weren't winning. And because football fans often judge individuals based on team outcomes, many people concluded that Messi was failing when it mattered most. Notice something important. The myth wasn't originally built on poor performances. It was built on painful results. And that's a huge difference. Keep that distinction in mind, because it becomes very important later. Now let's investigate the first major piece of evidence, the World Cup. Because if Messi truly struggled in big matches, the World Cup knockout rounds should expose him, right? Well, not exactly. One of the biggest misconceptions about Messi's international career is that he only performed in group stage matches. The actual record tells a different story. In the 2014 World Cup, Messi was outstanding throughout Argentina's run to the final. People often remember Mario Götze's winning goal for Germany. What they forget is how crucial Messi was in getting Argentina there. Then came the 2022 World Cup, the tournament that completely changed football's memory. Suddenly, the same player accused of disappearing under pressure was delivering one decisive performance after another. Against Australia in the round of 16, Messi opened the scoring. Against the Netherlands in the quarterfinals, he produced a masterclass, including one of the greatest assists in World Cup history. Against Croatia in the semifinals, he scored and created another iconic assist. And then came the final against France, one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played. Messi scored twice, converted his penalty in the shootout, and won the trophy that critics had spent years using against him. Think about that for a second. A player who supposedly couldn't perform in big matches directly contributed in every knockout round on the way to winning football's biggest prize. So, what's the verdict on the World Cup myth? False. Not only did Messi perform in knockout matches, some of his most memorable performances happened there. But World Cups weren't the only reason this narrative existed. The real fuel came from finals. And that's where things get interesting. Ask football fans why they believed Messi struggled in important games, and many will immediately mention Copa América finals. After all, Argentina lost 3 consecutive major finals between 2014 and 2016. That's a brutal statistic. But here's where context matters. Did Argentina lose because Messi disappeared? Or did Argentina lose despite Messi performing well? Take the 2014 World Cup final. Messi created opportunities, but Argentina failed to convert key chances. Take the 2015 Copa América. Messi converted his penalty in the shootout. Argentina still lost. Take the 2016 Copa América final. Messi missed a penalty during the shootout. This moment became one of the defining images of his career. For many fans, that miss became proof. Case closed. Messi choked. But football careers aren't judged on one kick. If they were, countless legends would be labeled failures. What made the 2016 miss so powerful wasn't the miss itself. It was the timing. Millions watched it live. The image spread everywhere, and narratives are often stronger than facts. The reality is that Messi was frequently one of Argentina's best performers throughout those tournaments. Yet, because the team didn't win, the myth survived. Then came Copa América 2021. Messi finished as the tournament's standout player. Argentina won. And suddenly the conversation changed. Not because Messi became a different footballer, because the trophy finally matched the performances. Verdict? Misleading. The myth focused on results while ignoring many of the actual performances. But what about club football? Surely the Champions League knockout rounds expose the truth. Or do they? Let's investigate. For years, critics claimed Messi padded his numbers against weaker opposition. According to this argument, he dominated league matches but disappeared against elite European teams. Sounds convincing. Until you actually look at the record. Messi is among the highest scorers in Champions League history. More importantly, he has scored repeatedly in knockout rounds against Europe's biggest clubs: Manchester United, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, and many others. Think about some of the iconic moments. The header in the 2009 Champions League final, the performances against Arsenal, the masterclass against Bayern Munich in 2015, the famous Boateng moment, the countless knockout round goals that helped Barcelona reach finals and win trophies. Now, to be fair, there is a reason some fans believed the myth. Barcelona suffered several high-profile collapses later in Messi's career. Roma in 2018, Liverpool in 2019. Those defeats were shocking. And because Messi was the biggest star, much of the blame landed on him. But here's the question. Was Messi responsible for those collapses alone? Or was he carrying enormous responsibility within flawed teams? Even many analysts who criticize aspects of Messi's game acknowledge that Barcelona's problems during those years extended far beyond one player. Verdict? False. The Champions League evidence overwhelmingly supports the idea that Messi consistently produced in major knockout matches. Now let's compare Messi with other legends, because this is where the myth becomes even weaker. Football fans often remember legendary careers selectively. People remember the triumphs. They forget the failures. Take Diego Maradona, widely regarded as one of football's greatest players. Did he win every final? No. Take Cristiano Ronaldo. Did he score in every important match? Of course not. Take Pelé. Take Zinedine Zidane. Take Johan Cruyff. Take virtually any football icon in history. Every legend has disappointing performances. Every legend has painful defeats. Every legend has moments they would like to erase. The difference with Messi was expectation. When Messi played well, fans expected it. When Messi failed, it became a global headline. That's the burden of greatness. Ironically, the higher Messi's level became, the harsher people judged his imperfections. Which brings us to the most fascinating question of all. If the evidence was available, why did the myth survive for so long? The answer reveals a lot about football culture. Humans love simple stories. They're easier to remember, easier to repeat, easier to argue about. Messi can't do it in big games. That's a simple story. Explaining tactical systems, team quality, tournament variance, and individual performances, that's much harder. There was also another factor. Recency bias. Fans often remember the last dramatic moment they saw. A missed penalty, a lost final, a painful defeat. Those moments become emotionally powerful, and emotional memories often overpower objective analysis. Add social media. Add endless Ronaldo versus Messi debates. Add television arguments. Add football tribalism. And suddenly a narrative can survive for years, even when the evidence becomes weaker and weaker. Then came 2022, the tournament that changed everything. What's fascinating is that the World Cup didn't suddenly transform Messi into a big game player. It transformed public perception. The performances were visible to everyone. The goals, the assists, the leadership, the pressure moments, the final, the trophy lift. The images became impossible to ignore. For years, critics demanded that Messi deliver on football's biggest stage. Then he did, and many people who repeated the myth suddenly stopped talking about it because the evidence had become overwhelming. Which leads us to our final verdict. Did Lionel Messi fail in important matches? After examining the World Cup knockout rounds, the Copa América campaigns, the Champions League knockout record, the comparisons with football legends, and the origins of the narrative itself, the verdict is clear. The myth is false, or at the very least, massively misleading. Did Messi lose important matches? Absolutely. Every legend has. Did Messi have disappointing moments? Of course, every great player does. But the claim that he consistently failed when it mattered most simply doesn't survive serious investigation. In fact, the biggest surprise might be this. Many of the matches used to criticize Messi were matches where he actually played well. The result became the story. The performance got forgotten. Now it's your turn. Do you think the myth was always wrong? Or do you believe there was a period when the criticism was justified? Let me know in the comments. And if there's another football myth you've always wondered about, drop it below because it might become the next investigation. If you enjoyed this myth-busting breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and join us for more football myths, forgotten stories, and controversial debates. Because in football, the most popular opinion isn't always the correct one. And sometimes the truth is even more interesting than the myth.